Hello, welcome back. We are now looking at some suffixes. So these are little parts that go on the ends of words to give some more specific nature to them. So, as an example, painful and painless. Full, less. Painful, painless. Breaking your leg is painful. Full of pain, let's say. And learning English is painless without pain. So most of the time, this is what they mean. Full of something or without something. However, there are some exceptions. A good one would be helpful and helpless. So helpful is when something gives you help. So these classes, they are helpful, perhaps. I hope so. And I feel helpless when I need to speak German because I'm not familiar with the language. So helpless is without the possibility of helping yourself in a difficult situation, not being able to give yourself some help. So there are some exceptions, okay? We'll go through the list. We've got 20 words to practice with. There are a few exceptions within that list. We'll see you in a moment for that. Hello, welcome back. We are looking at some examples here, some example words with the suffix full and less. Okay, the first example, shameful and shameless, all right? I will use both examples, okay? So I will use shameful in a sentence and shameless in a sentence. I feel shameful because my Spanish isn't very good, but I am shameless about when I speak because it doesn't matter if you make a few mistakes. Okay. The next example, I'm going to use the most common, or the first thing that comes to mind. Okay. A broken leg is painful. Going to the dentist is painless, if you're not afraid. This book is useful if you watch it with the video, and maybe it's useless if you don't read the information carefully. Okay, the next examples would just use one example. Oh no, helpful. In fact, I'm going to use both. Okay, so helpful when something helps you, and helpless is the feeling of not being able to help yourself. So this one, in fact, is a little strange. It's a little irregular. This book is helpful, or my teacher is helpful. Your idea was helpful. Now, I feel helpless when speaking German because my German is terrible. Or I feel helpless when I am trying to swim a long distance because long distance swimming is not my strength. Okay, so it's the situation you are in that you cannot really do anything about and you cannot help yourself. Okay, smoking is harmful, don't do it. I am regretless about moving to Spain. What a wonderful place this is. When it comes to shoes, my students tell me that I'm tasteless, which means I don't have any good taste in shoes. I'm a very aimful person, so I like to be productive with my time. I am not careful with money. I am careless with money. To be mindful. I hope you are mindful that in a few sections we have a review coming up. We have a review soon. We have a review coming up. Please be mindful of that. Keep this on your mind. The project was fruitful. I think there's the same adjective in Spanish as well. I'm hopeful to see you in the next video. The wonderful experience was very meaningful. It had a lot of meaning to me, personal meaning. I am powerless to make you watch the next video, but maybe some hypnosis will help. Sinful and sinless. Okay, I would more typically use it in sinful. It's kind of a strange word to pop into a sentence, but this is a very sinful thing to do because it's Monday morning, afternoon, and I'm sitting in a park. I'm being ironic, so it's very sinful to not be working hard on a Monday morning. Tuneful. This is a very tuneful album. Again, kind of an unusual example here, but when you say tuneless, you're describing a person who cannot sing. So if I were to sing, "The hills are alive with the sound of music," you say, "Come on, Stefan, you are tuneless. Stop singing." Tearful. This is how I feel when I read a sad story, when I watch a sad film. I feel tearful, like meaning tears. It's like an emotional experience. Tactful. I am quite often tactful. I think it's more or less the same in Spanish. Tacto, like contacto. Not contacto, but I'm not sure, but tact. To have an ability to say something to a person, to not offend, and nice and politically correct, etc. Restful, a bit unusual, but restless. This is how you feel in the night when you cannot sleep and you're moving around. Last night I was very restless. The weather is too hot and I cannot sleep. And pitiful. Again, kind of an unusual. It's not a commonly used word. So, pitiless is when you give no sympathy to a person because they did what they did, and the result is, pitiless. I feel pitiless because you did this to yourself. You have nobody else to blame but yourself. Okay, slightly unusual section, but it's just to get the suffixes in there and look at some of that pronunciation. Okay, we'll see you in the next class. Thanks very much for listening. The next class, it's all about the gerund, the ing. Okay. Again, it's something worth reading before we start the class. Thanks very much for listening. We'll see you in the next class. Bye.